The 20,000 Wi-Fi transmitters planned to be used in the city's plan to Wi-Fi the entire city pose a danger of damaging our DNA. The DNA is the stuff that keeps our bodies running. We always thought about it as being the source of genetics that we transmit from generation to generation, which it is. But it's active in each of our cells, and it keeps on making the proteins that we need for our lives. And it leads to damage to the DNA, which has been shown unequivocally in a lot of different experiments, leads to conditions like cancer and a number of autism and a number of neurological diseases. The transmitters that the city plans to put throughout the city will damage our DNA and cause many of these serious conditions. If we care for children, we are not going to protect our children if we go ahead with these wireless projects. And I might add that there are also projects for putting Wi-Fi into schools, which is terrible.
Thank you, Dr. Kevin. Yes, ma'am.
Again, I'm here representing my sister who is electromagnetic sensitive. The smart meters are a huge issue for her. Thank you for allowing us to have opt-out on smart meters, but when you put light poles where you can't opt out and you have to go through them, she won't be able to exist in Los Angeles with her condition. People have to realize the electrosensitivity of people, and it's a huge thing. We shouldn't be electrifying Los Angeles any further. I'd like to say I'm not a flaky type resident. I have been a professional person. If Mitch Farrell was here, he could maybe vouch for me that I am a regular type resident. It's a real problem. It isn't a fringe problem. My sister was
Thank you.
The city is going in the exact wrong direction. Intensely microwave radiating our population is the wrong direction to go in. There's thousands, hundreds and thousands of studies showing wireless health effects, and very serious ones, cancerous, neurological problems. We have our own human evidence. We have DWP offering an opt-out for our smart meters, and these smart meters are low-frequency microwave transmitters. This is the same thing you're going to be dealing with these Wi-Fi transmitters and these smart poles. This is a workaround. Having cell towers, transmitters in smart poles prevents communities from being able to have input and speak about what's going on in their community. And clearly, we have 20,000 signatures from residents who say they don't want cell towers near their homes. You are putting smart poles, 500 of them over 5 years across this city. This is a grave mistake. Europe has come out and is trying to minimize exposure, and we're not.
Thank you.
Philips smart poles are cell towers in residential Hollywood. This is a complete disregard to residents, citizens, employees, and stakeholders by not disclosing health risks and environmental risks. Because where there's Wi-Fi, there's always a risk. It's called radiation. This should sound familiar to you. This is the reason you guys shut down LA RICS twice last spring. And thank goodness for LA Firefighters Union and the World Health Organization for classifying Wi-Fi as a 2B carcinogenic in 2011. I believe the city isn't transparent because if locals were informed about the light poles actually being cell towers, and who knows how much, how, when, they would have to acknowledge its fiduciary responsibility to disclose. I would like the City Council to take responsibility today that this layer of radiation is unfairly being forced, ignoring LA County's own rules for new cell towers and leaping over any. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I would just like to talk about a little bit of what's going on in the science behind Wi-Fi and all types of radiation that's emitted. Dr. Martha Herbert, who's a Harvard University faculty and a pediatric neurologist, has reviewed over 500 papers that link very strongly ADD, ADHD, autism to wireless radiation that's being emitted from wireless devices. Dr. Victoria Dunkley, who's an integrative child psychiatrist, says bar none, the thing that cures or lowers the symptoms of her ADD, ADHD, and autistic patients is by putting them on a technology fast, removing them from Wi-Fi situations. Dr. Martin Blank that we have here is a prestigious Columbia University professor who's done a lot of research on DNA and the cause of this stuff on DNA.
Thank you. Thank you. So if I can...
Mr. President, we have been friends for years, but the way this meeting's been run for the past couple of days, I'm sorry, Mr. Wesson, you're my friend, you do good, but the meetings have to be run better. For the past 2 days, it's been a dog and pony show.
Thank you, Sean, and I will do my best to do better.